Hi, I'm Lamanda Joy, founder of Peterson Garden Project. Today we're going to have Grewbie 102. In the spring we taught you how to get your bed ready for the season. Now we're going to tell you how to take it down for the season. So first we're going to start with how to deal with some fruit, unripe fruit that we might have. We have these little peppers, we have some tomatoes. You know, it might be kind of sad to think you have to throw those away. Well, you don't have to throw those away. These little peppers can certainly be eaten, so I'm just going to harvest these. You know how to do that from our other video on harvesting peppers, but I'm just going to take these guys off. You know, another thing that people are always worried about their tomatoes, we want as much precious tomato time as possible, but you know, this guy's sort of half ripe, this one's mostly ripe, and we have some green tomatoes. There's a couple things you can do. You can just take these tomatoes home, set them on a counter. You want to set them stem side down on the counter, and those will ripen. And if you have something that's really green like this, you can cook with it. There's a lot of things you can make with green tomatoes, fried green tomatoes, pickles, lots of things. But you can also just wrap them in newspaper, let them sit in a cool, dark place, and they'll start to ripen. They're not going to taste as great as they do if they're sun ripened, but they're still good. So I'm just going to go ahead and take these guys off too. I'm going to use all these. Take those all home with me. Now your urge might be to want to pull this guy up, right? Pull it up and get rid of it, but we don't want to do that, and I'm going to tell you why. If we were to pull this up, what's going to happen is this giant root ball is going to come up with it. And that root ball is going to have a lot of great soil. We don't want to pull that soil up and waste it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our snips and we're going to cut that guy off about an inch from the soil. And then this is just going to overwinter, and those roots and all that soil and those good microbes are going to compost down, and then in the spring you can just pull that little nub out and it won't make any difference, but it won't bring all that soil with it. So you can do that with all of the plants in a garden like this. So I'm going to do it with the parsley and borage and different things that we have here. Now let's talk for a minute about the stuff that you're going to want to leave in your plot. So you're going to leave a few things, and for different reasons. One, you can leave any perennials that you've grown. And so like if you have strawberries, if you've got thyme, those types of perennials, you can look them up online. We'll provide a list. You can leave those. Don't pull those out, because that means they're perennial. They'll come back next year. So leave those guys. But also, and this is a different reason, if you have a big, beautiful Brussels sprout that's coming on, or some kale, these can live a little longer into the season. So if you have something really nice that's growing, go ahead and leave that. And then we're going to come in after the gardens close and do a gleaning and take the food around Thanksgiving to all our food and nutrition partners. So if it's just too sad to take out that beautiful kale or those beautiful Brussels sprouts, it's okay to go ahead and leave those. One other thing I want you to be aware of, now we've got two things here that are going to reseed next year. They're not perennials, but when they go to seed, they're going to drop them and you're going to find them again in your bed next year. So if you don't come back, then the next person that inherits the bed is going to find a special treat. So that happens with things like borage and dill. We've got some fennel here that's got some nice seed heads on it. So if those have dropped already, those are just going to stay in the soil and provide a nice little surprise in the spring. Brianne and I worked together to clean out our plot. And what you'll see here is we've taken out all the big stuff. We've cut it down at the base so those roots can compost in. We have put our trellis material, our sticks there. We've left our chive plant over here, and we left 3 beautiful a Brussels sprout and 2 kale that we're going to harvest for the Grow2Give program later in November. So when the team comes through to look at this plot to make sure that we're interested in coming back next year, they're going to be able to see that yes, this plot is cleaned out. So, you know, like poltergeist, this plot is clean. All right, so we've cleaned out our plot, and we've got 2 piles of stuff here. One is the stuff we're going to take home. So I have some small chard that I'm pretty excited about. We got a couple tiny carrots. These beets weren't going to make it to become beets, but guess what? Those greens are going to be tasty, sauteed up, so you can take those home with you. We've got our green tomatoes. I'm going to make some tomato pickles out of those, and we've got some that can ripen up if we just set them stemmed down on a counter in our kitchen. We've got some little tiny peppers that we can use just like we would big peppers. So we've got a good little harvest from our last effort here at the plot. So we talked about the pile of stuff that we harvested and we're going to take home. But then there's this giant pile of debris. You know, we've been asking you all summer to take your garden waste home, and you've been doing a really good job. but that's a little bit too much to ask. Well, what we do with the end of year cleanup is we're gonna get giant super sacks in the garden. You're gonna take this whole pile of stuff, you're gonna put in the super sack, no trash, just garden waste. You can put in the super sack, and then we work with a landscaping company. They're gonna take those and take them to be composted over the winter. So all of this stuff is gonna turn into great soil. So here's 3 important things you need to know about the season close for 2014. 1, you have to have your plot cleaned out by November 3rd. 2, when we see your clean plot after November 3rd, when we do an inventory of the gardens, we'll know your plot's clean, you wanna come back next year. 3, registration for returning gardeners is early February, so stay tuned to our newsletter or Facebook page or website to make sure that you know when that's happening. We'll also be sending you notifications. And that's it. Otherwise, have a great winter and we'll see you in the spring.